What's up, my squishy little squashes? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and yes, in fact, this is my second attempt at recording this video. Thank you for asking. So if I seem a little bit low energy or like my facial hair has disappeared, just blame it on the fact that the original video's files got corrupted and I gotta start from scratch. Regardless, today on The Daily Grind, we will be revisiting Mirage. Now, the big reason that I wanted to go ahead and do this was because of the recent augment update. Now, if you missed out on that video, I'll go ahead and leave a link up in the top corner as well as one down in the description box below. So the augment that got altered in all of this hullabaloo is actually one of my longtime favorites from Mirage, which is explosive legerdemain. Now, the big reason why I wanted to go ahead and enunciate that so clearly was because of the fact that I've been saying it wrong this whole time. I've been swapping around the placement of the D, but I mean, I'm gay, so I guess that's just kind of what we do, right? Now, this kind of made me jump into a rabbit hole with all of Mirage because I noticed all of the different synergies that kind of work with her kit, and I was like, ooh, this is kind of spicy. And then I just kept going and looking at old builds and then experimenting with different weapons, and I was like, oh my god, have you tried this with Mirage? And I'm like, yes, today I have. So I figured that I would go ahead and reel you into the rabbit hole along with me. So let's go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of a chat about Sleight of Hand. So if you are a fresh new player of Mirage or have no idea what the hell her abilities do, basically, Sleight of Hand sabotages the environment. So it can do a lot of interesting things like make canisters like explode in bright lights, which will blind nearby enemies, or it can lure enemies into these lockers that will try to eat them alive. It's really crazy. It'll convert the corpus beams, the energy beams that they have on their doors, into like things that will actually provide energy for you. So it does a whole lot of things. But the favorite thing that I like it to do is the fact that it can actually cause ammo, energy orbs, and health orbs to explode. Now, on its own, this does not seem great because this is this big, like, wide area, kind of like low damage nuke. However, when combined with explosive legerdemain, they actually turn into proximity mines waiting for enemies to come in contact with them instead. And it also grants them 100% status chance. So instead of all of those traps basically just going off at once, it lays them in wait for enemies to come across. Now, this becomes really fun on missions that require you to stay in for a little bit longer. So if you're doing an interception, a defense, even some survivals out there, legitimately, you just have all of these status traps that will kind of like either stun enemies, you know, or it'll slow them down. You can apply all of these different status effects on them, and let's just say it works quite well in combination with the rest of her kit. So what really got me jazzed about it was because of the fact that you can use Hall of Mirrors. Now, when it comes to projectiles, I believe Hall of Mirrors only fires from 2 of the doppelgangers. However, if you are using a melee weapon, all of your doppelgangers will actually go ahead and swing in. Now, if you've got a weapon with a lot of range, let's say a Zaw, and it's got some status on it, well, now you've got 4 versions of yourself, including yourself, swinging in on enemies, applying statuses. And you see where I'm going with this? We got statuses from all of the explosive legerdemain mines that we've got going on. You're applying them yourselves. You've got condition overload going. But wait, there's more. Of course, we've also got Eclipse to kind of like ramp up your damage, but we can also use Prism to blind the enemies, allowing them to be open for melee, not finishers. Well, I mean, I think that you can open them up to melee finishers, but I'm too busy whizzing around just slashing them in half to do that because it opens them up to stealth multipliers. So now we've got stealth multipliers in play, we've got condition overload multipliers in play, and I was like, oh my god, I just love this. I have to play around with it. I have to jump on in. So I actually wanted to go ahead and show you that build, as well as my Hall of Malevolence build that kind of works very similarly to that. I didn't do Total Eclipse because I don't really like Total Eclipse. Helping people is not one of my fortes. Let's just say that. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, the setup works really, really well in missions that you plan on staying in for a while. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not like a 2-hour, 3-hour solo survival kind of build. This is definitely like farming in the star chart, but at least it'll make your farming a little bit more interesting. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna simulate some of that I've been in a mission for a while kind of setup. So basically I created enemies and then I destroyed enemies, and then I'm gonna create more enemies because we need some bodies to go ahead and booby trap. So as you can see right here, I'm gonna go ahead and set that up, and we have all of these statuses on these enemies, and legit watch them absolutely freaking melt. Now that wasn't even combined with the blind that we can use from her prism, and it just gets uglier and uglier when you start stacking everything on top of it. Oh my god, it's so beautiful and wonderful. Let's toss another little prism out there real quick. Now, when I was initially using this setup, I was kind of worried because of the fact that I was like, oh no, like I'm using up all of this ammo and orbs to do this. I'm gonna run out of ammo and orbs. But as you can see right here, clearly, we're killing these enemies, and they're leaving more ammo on the ground to go ahead and convert into booby traps. So it's this interesting kind of like, oh, we're producing more booby traps by using the booby traps to kill the enemies that are already there. The other thing that I do want to point out, actually let's take a look at the build and let's talk about that. The other thing that I wanted to point out about is the fact that also, like I said, we are going to be using up ammo that's sitting on the ground, but we're also going to be using up energy that's sitting on the ground. So as you can see here, I'm focusing a lot on range, but I've also got 2 arcane energizers, a prime flow, and a streamline. Now, do you need 2 arcane energizers to do this? No, not in the least bit. You can go ahead and use your operator and toss on a little bit of Zeneric. However, me personally, because I am using a lot of melee in this build, I like Naramon and I have access to Energize, so why the F not, right? So what you have to do when you're using this build out in the open is make sure you keep yourself topped off. And because of the fact that you have a decent duration on all of your proxy mines, that you don't really need to worry too much about it, but just be wary of like stockpiling some energy just in case you need to refresh your buffs. And like I was saying earlier, we do have a lot of range on this as well in order to kind of push it forward. I'm not using any what is it called, power strength mods, because you don't really need it. It's more of like a CC kind of build, and really where you're getting a lot of your power from is from the different statuses that are going to be applied on your enemy, as well as all of your doppelgangers being applied at those status. So it's a lot in that direction. Now, I do have a gimmick build that I want to show off. It doesn't work all that well in the simulacrum, mainly because of the fact that like animals die real quick, and I did not completely forma my puppers to work along with this. But as you can see, we do have the Mecha empowered set on, and let's go ahead and bring in Crispin. Now I have to say this, okay? Don't make fun of him. I have not customized them because I have not used them in a while, but when I was kind of like theory crafting some of this stuff, I really wanted to go ahead and use a Chessa. Now, the reason we want to use Chessa is because of Chessa crates. For those of you guys who don't know, this crew bow, after like the whole fetch mod like was released universally, and I refuse to use it, we have Kubro has a 45% chance to scavenge additional loot from a fallen enemy or containers within 30 meters every 10 seconds. So basically what's happening is, as we kill enemies and we make more ammo, the dog also makes more ammo, but in addition to that, the dog also gives us access to the Mecha set, which a companion marks a target every 15 seconds for 12 seconds. Killing that target applies their status effect to all enemies within 30 meters. So now, not only are we creating more of the proxy mines, we're also being able to spread those statuses to other enemies in addition. The only thing is, because of the fact that we are fighting level 165, sometimes the dog goes squish, and sometimes he does not perform the way you want him to perform. But you know what? We're going to give it a shot. We're going to see how our little puppy baby ends up working out for us. I'm crossing my fingers. Like, please, puppy, mark something so that we can show it off. Where are you? I'm trying to keep you alive. Mark something, boy. Mark something, boy. Anything. One? Can we get one? How about these guys over here? Let's do these guys over here. Just do this and don't die. Doggo, where are you at? Where did you mark something else? Where are you? Mark them! Mark them, please! Mark somebody! Anywhere? We might have to do another try on this. Because it does, when it works well. Like, that guy over there got absolutely toasted. And I think it's because I did end up expending a mark. Oh, there it is. Come on. Let's do it. And see, that guy's dead over here. That guy's dead all the way over here because of the Mecha Empowered. Now, if you guys haven't seen that video that I did on Mecha Empowered, originally I had a 60-meter range on it. Now it has been nerfed down to 30 meters, but it still works. It still works pretty gosh darn well. So let's see if we can get a better vantage point of that. Please, just do it. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. That's the dream. God damn our animations. But as you can see right here, like, everything basically melts with that. Dog don't die. Dog don't die. Sing it with me. Dog don't die. And let's go ahead and make some more explosions. There's one. There's another one right there. And look, everything just goes kaputs because we got that Mecha Empowered off. It's kind of crazy, and I kind of love it. Dog don't die. Where are you, dog? Dog die. Okay, listen. It's okay. It's okay. You kind of displayed what you were trying to do, and I respect you for that. I know that you want to break. So let's just. Is he dead again? Crispin, don't be dead again. Don't do this to me. Not on camera. You're embarrassing Mummy. You're embarrassing Mummy, okay? Just do what I tell you to do. Regardless, you get the kind of average idea that we're going with that. Spreading a lot of statuses via the use of all of Mirage. Oh, can we do it? Can we do it? No, it didn't work so well. But it's okay. They're all dead, and that's really all that matters at the very, very end of the day. So, as you can see, I did have to alter it a little bit. And again, a gimmick is a gimmick. You can make it look really good if you take specific clips out and only show the best things, but I want to make sure that you guys get a realistic interpretation of the gimmick. It's a fun gimmick, though, if you can get it to work. Now, those are the two builds I have for that. I also have one last build that I wanted to show off, which is my Hall of Malevolence build. Now, if you want to take less of a chance by using, you know, all of those status procs, if you get to attack the enemy at the right time when the statuses are going off, yada, 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 and you'd rather have yourself be the weapon, not worry about any of these damn buffs, you can go ahead and use Hall of Malevolence. Now, actually, the one thing that I need to point out here real quick is Hall of Malevolence gives you 5% more damage for every enemy that you kill while you have Hall of Mirrors on. So the thing about this is, number one, the percentage is not affected by power strength. So the power strength that I have in here is solely to bump up the, what is it called, the power strength or the damage capabilities that you'll get from Eclipse, because I'm trying to kind of keep all of this self-contained. In addition to that, we have focused a little bit on duration so that we can keep Hall of Malevolence up longer, because once the buff is done, basically what ends up happening is you have to start all over again. I've also tossed on an Arcane Fury and an Arcane Energize because we don't really need energy as much. We're not going to be casting things all too often other than refreshing our buffs. All right. So let's go ahead and jump on in to show Hall of Malevolence off. It works very, very similarly. So don't think that you're going to see anything too different. However, I will say we'll take advantage of this stealth multiplier. But as you can see right here, she's still making magic happen, regardless of how she does it. I mean, I get it. She's Mirage. Of course she makes magic happen. That's what Mirage does. But as you can see right there, she's got good CC. She's got great damage output. She's just evaporating these guys. It's kind of really, really sexy. So if you guys have not tried Mirage, definitely give her a shot. Spice up your farming game today, because I know we get really bored. I actually wanted to create a video, and I was like, maybe it's too weird for the channel. Let me know if it's too weird. I actually wanted to create a video to help you guys farm, which talks about all of the TV series and like things on different streaming services that you guys can go ahead and watch while you farm. Let me know if you want my recommendations for that, because it's definitely something I was thinking of doing. But let me go ahead and end this and show you guys the weapon that I'd been using the whole time. Let's show the build on it real quick. So as you can see, it is a Jai 2. The grip is Stung, which is by far my favorite grip. I know that there's one other one that I feel like the damage spread on it's a little bit better, but to be honest with you, it's really slow, at least for me. Then we have the Docram Strike because it looks like a fucking scythe, and why not? And then Jai 2 to keep everything balanced. Now, let's go ahead and look at the build again real quick. Everything is pretty simple. It's a hybrid, and then I know that this, like, ooh, he's got a Riven for it, so it must be really good. My Riven kind of sucks for it. It's just combo, duration, status chance, and some Toxin. Now, of course, the Toxin boost is nice, but really it's just a fancier version of Drifting Contact, which is what I would have ended up... Wait, I have Drifting Contact. What did I do? I have both. Something went wrong here. So the build really should have been... We're gonna ignore that I've been running with that this whole... That's what the build should have been. So you actually saw the build performing, you know, less than perfect. So I hope you guys go ahead and give Mirage a little bit of a try, especially Explosive Legerdemain. I love watching all of the damage numbers like go across the map because legitimately, Explosive Legerdemain literally has an incredible base range. I believe that on its own, see, this one actually has a, oh wait, wrong build, real quick, sorry, I'm still rambling, but if we go here, it has a base range of, I believe it was 40 meters that it said earlier, but as you can see here, it's got a 76 meter range, so you're covering large parts of the map every time you cast it. That's why I say be careful when it comes to the energy stuff. And the radius for the explosions on the Explosive Legerdemain goes from 20 meters up to 38 meters, so that's like a 40 meter explosion whenever an enemy walks over one of those little... what is it called? Oh my god, I forgot what it's called. The proxy mines. There you go. So there's a lot of range, there's a lot of CC, it's super fun, and it's nice because you can see enemies all across the map. Instead of having to swap in like an enemy radar, you can kind of like, oh, they spawn there. Oh, they spawn there. Oh, they spawn there. Anyway, you can tell I get really excited when it comes to this specific build. So hopefully you guys give it a shot and get excited about it too. Also in the comments below, let me know if there are any underrated Warframes that you think that I should go ahead and revisit next. Regardless, that about does it for me for now. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Please don't make me re-record this. Let it all be okay.